Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Master Propaganda here, Site Defender over the phone. And we're back here with some Companies 1 shenanigans right here on Langras again. In the south, we got here Convuko fighting for American freedom and the American way here with the 2nd Infantry Division with a double engineer start by the way, or triple engineer technically. Versus in the north, we got here Turuncu fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Götz von Berlichingen. And double pioneer start with the Wehrmacht quarters. Double engineers here with the barracks up front with the triple third engineer there on the way as well. So be out aggressively seizing as much territory as can here before the Germans get there in the first place. And we like to have some focus on the way here for Turuncu. Pioneers in the east securing munitions. Others moving towards the center of the map. Barracks up here for Convuko. It's going to be a while there thanks to the 3 engineer squad before he can get rifleman. He could rush out a jeep here versus Turuncu, but he will likely go for the rifleman in a few moments. And there we go, rifleman on the way there for Convuko. Points there being seized, moving westwards, and similarly here we got pioneers moving westwards there. Volksgrenadiere arriving here for Turuncu. Now, mind you, Volksgrenadiers did not exist, Normandy. Though you could sort of argue they sort of represent a lot of the other lower quality infantry that sort of fight there doing it, sort of a mix of Osthuben, Reichsarbeitsdienst, Luftwaffe field troops, Luftwaffe security troops. You mention it, you name it. Points there being seized, grabbing points here. No sandbags or anything like that going up here from either side. We got cut-offs and munitions being secured there. Riflemen out here for Convuko, and we got engineers in the far east moving up there, slowly pressuring there. Turuncu most likely. There'll probably be more folks going to do. See, we got pioneers moving up to grab the fuel pond right next to his base. Otherwise, pretty quiet here between the two players. Riflemen setting out. First shots fired here. Folks versus Riflemen. In this case, the folks are quick to fall back since the Riflemen will have the better cover here, obviously. So they just fall back towards the house here. Maybe also gets a bit of a clear idea what's going on around them. In this case, they should be able to spot the engineers to grab the eastern fuel point. More forces arriving here for Turuncu and the 17th SS, Götz von Berlichingen. Shots fired there. Pioneers moving eastwards and pioneers moving back here towards the base for Turuncu. Rifleman engineer support moving in. We got, I imagine, a third or second. Oh, going for a jeep here, Convuko, going for a jeep. So not a lot of riflemen here, which does mean the forces could have a good advantage versus Convuko here if Turuncu pushes pretty decently and also flanks pretty decent. In this case, he's sort of staying a bit of distance here as all the American infantry. We got pioneers being on there. We got either an MG42 or more folks going to here for Turuncu. Though there's also the potential for a sniper, or I suppose a bike. Got the jeep moving in there. Folks they're firing about. Nope, access to Panzerfaust yet because he hasn't taken up, so he can't immediately just pop a rocket in it and just leave it burning. Pioneers standing about there, grabbing points as well on the far east. So far, though, Convuko's gaining most of the map here over Turuncu. And there we go, MD42 out here for Turuncu and the 17th SS. Folks are opening up there. Riflemen taking minor losses. We got the jeep there firing away. Folks holding up here in the house just in case he tries to sneak up on him. And they're going forcing up there. Go jeep rushing straight past it. Forcing up support here, doing some light damage there with the MP40s. And we got pioneers up north here. Oh, it's laid down some mines and the munitions in the east. That's not a bad idea. There we go. Right, there we go. Oh, hit a mine on the carve point, and Joey goes flying. Look, Ma, I can fly. No functioning internal organs. That's actually a nice move there, mining the cut-off point, since that's obviously going to get harassed here on Langre. So that's a nice force in this case, resulting in a deep blowing out. We can see he's quickly recouping the loss of the mine by salvaging it for munitions, since Wehrmacht here has a salvage ability which just gives them munitions. Folks are moving up here, Riflemen engaging the fire here from the Volksgrenadiers. Pioneers moving up, engage Riflemen. Folks need to quickly change targets here. I think should move the Folks a bit further down here, trying to get a bit of deeper flank than on the Riflemen. Nothing further. Oh, there we go, something on the way there for them. Back at Convuko's base, we've got grenades on the way, plus another jeep. Riflemen moving up here, taking fire out in the open there. Pioneers with MP40s, forces with Carnot TKs and a single STG. And there go, grenade off. Quickly dodged in this case. Riflemen there falling back. Engineers to the fast roll, forces moving ahead slightly. Sniper moving ahead. Here we got engineers sneaking up there behind the pioneers. The sniper could open up the scope, give air free. And there go Riflemen going straight for the MD42. Good work there, good work. But they're out in the open there, taking fire there from a lot of sources. Sniper firing up the engineers. MD4 trying to about there go. No time. Oh, grenade off. Almost wipes the MD42. Riflemen engineers falling back here. Pretty brutal engagement between the two players. No sign of doctrine yet here though for Convuko as he goes for the second Jeep. One of these got remaining out in the middle of the Black Road, and there we go, retreating as the snipers. Gun sounds off there against their soft, squishy heads. Got the Jeep moving in, engaging the pioneers out in the open.
We're losing a strategic sector.
Not to grab the victory point there for the fatherland. Is he taking up? Yes, indeed, looks like it. MD42 reinforcing. Pioneers laying down mines there. Good work here by Turuncu versus Convuko. Keep out in the open here. Unfortunately, they're taking losses from the 30 caliber light machine gun there mounted on the back of the Jeep, doing a bit of harm there to the Germans. We've got engineers rifle moving up here. Pioneers need to retreat, but they have laying the mine down. They promise. They're rather signalling here to Convuko there's a mine. In that regard, a neat little trick is once you actually order them to lay down mine, it's to sort of shift click them elsewhere else. So once they're done laying down the mine, they automatically move away from it, so they don't give away to your opponent. Hey, I lay down a mine, and of course now we've got the mine throws out here for Convuko, so it might not matter as much. We can see his front basically collapsing. Pioneers about to get whacked. People's not careful. And Sniper's sort of sneaking about. They need to be careful. We got a supply yard up here for Convuko to help with the manpower bit there. Certainly not a bad idea at all. So, except he's not finishing it. Kriegberg's up there. MD4 holding up the Americans there. Still not finishing the supply yard. Good old American work ethics. Ooh, got him up within range here to pop a grenade straight on the MD42, doing a bit of damage there. American engineers moving hit. Jeep, they're charging forwards. MD42 just blasting away there. 5 kills now moving in. Fulls are setting out as well. Kriegberg slowly being done there for Turuncu. Supply yard here still stands as a monument to stuff not getting finished. I call it procrastination. Shut up, Carl. Finish that supply yard. I can't be asked to do it. Anyways, mine goes off there, doing a lot of damage to the rifleman. He's still not finishing. In fact, he's now building a weapon support center without finishing the supply yard. That's amazing. Almost got the rifleman there, but they do escape here. Pioneers moving up the west side. Then we also got mines in the CoH1 point again. The second one there, good spot. Sniper firing a few hits. Then they probably, in this case, is going for a sniper zone to counter Turuncu's sniper. And there we go, we got some better troops here of the 17th SS, some grenadiers. Fun fact, in Normandy, the 17th SS had acted the reconnaissance battalions of the 9th and 10th SS Panzer Divisions attached to it, with all the light half-tracks and all that stuff that involved as a fun fact. As to why, I'm less sure, but I'm guessing it's because the 17th SS at that point had barely any training. In several cases, some of its battalions only had like weeks of training. So most likely it was doing that to just stiffen them up a bit, you know, to give them at least some kind of competent corps. Fulls moving ahead of change to the rifle out in the open negative cover, not looking good. Grenadiers following up here for Turuncu. Coming up the rifle, and there we got riflemen, engineers, and all that going forwards here. Oh, he finally finished the supply yard. He finally finished it. Keep charging, they're going to go for the sniper. Doesn't anything. Oh, to protect the sniper. He's going to go. Oh no! Huge loss there for Turuncu. The sniper barely did any damage, yet the Jeep got it. Huge loss here for Turuncu. Huge loss. He knew there was a Jeep about there, so he should have kept, you know, something close to the Jeep or the sniper there, so he couldn't just rush it with a Jeep. He's got more grenadiers here though, but loss of sniper big there. Now we can see that Convuko was going for a sniper zone. It's going to get ugly, but there goes. Second mine gets the second Jeep. Clearly though, Convuko doesn't learn in that department. Well, he also suffered some loss there. He's lost an engineer squad. He's down to just 2 rifle squads and the 2 engineers. Of course, he did get the sniper, and of course, he's getting a sniper of his own. Interesting enough, Turuncu's not really done much of that from the rest of the map. He might want to sort of switch things about there. Of course, he's now got a lot of Fulls grenadiers and grenadiers. He could consider, by the way, a medic bunker. I think around here would be serving quite nicely. To further recuperate losses, and of course, just push harder against Convuko. And also just grind him down in the war of attrition. We got rifle engineers moving up here, sniper engineers moving up. We got mine 70 sort of worried about his base being rushed. With that matter, him rushing down the sniper with something else. So in this case, Convuko's probably doing more to guard his sniper than Turuncu ever did with his sniper. So good work there by Convuko. At least it's not repeating his opponent's mistakes, which is always something, though he is repeating some of his own mistakes a bit. And there you go. Third mine there. If lightning strikes twice, he'll probably strike thrice. Going to be in the west, Pioneer securing territory there. You might want to consider just, I think, at this point, taking up and sort of rushing up for some light vehicles. More mines down. We can see Convuko is very thoroughly laying down mines again. He's pretty much again expecting his opponent to try and rush that sniper with something, and he wants to be absolutely ready for it. Got more rifle here for Convuko and the 2nd Infantry Division here. We got the Storm Armory up here for Turuncu. In fact, let's pop over to him. He's gone for Terror Doctrine. Also resting the western fuel point there. Good work. Plus a Goliath. Rather than moving ahead here, Goliaths were usually part of specialised battalions, which could then be controlled either, for example, by Stugs or Tiger Tanks. In fact, the Panzerlehr had such a Funkline Abteilung attached to it, which actually had Tiger Tanks and a single Tiger Tank with a more rounded turret attached to it as a fun fact. Which is why the Panzerlehr had Tigers in the first place. So that's a little fun detail there. Goliath going after the sniper rifle, and then a bit of trouble. Need to cover the Goliath if it doesn't get stopped off. Bravo in the east being engaged by Volkswagen. This one pushing forward so they can't out to the case in a single shot Sturm Gewehr. And there we go, we got a Sturm Armory up here for Turuncu. Rather than getting shot to bits out in the open there. A lot of fire. We could see a wipe, we could see a wipe. Almost there, they're almost. Ah! Oh dear. Goliath moving in. So close to wiping Convuko's rifle, and so close, but not quite. 234, the armoured car on the way for Turuncu. Engineers are being pursued by the Goliath, and wipes them, and a mine laid down. And there's bits of engineers all over the place. My God, it's raining men. Hallelujah. Shut up, Joe. I'll hit you again. So now moving ahead, there 4 kills here for Convuko. 234-1 almost done here. For some reason everyone calls this the Puma, but only the version of the 50mm gun was the Puma. It's also the only one of the versions which actually had a nickname. The others just had no name. The standard one and the more common ones later on the war, because the Puma actually had a small production run, the 234-3 and the 234-4, one which had a PaK 40 mounting, the other had a 75mm howitzer attached to it. Units hitting heavy losses. Again, another player here really bothering with the medics. Unfortunately, they're about to get wiped. A bit of a senseless loss here by Turuncu, and there you go, full retreat here. Oh, now we've mounted a full retreat as well for Convuko. Neither player really getting a wipe against the other. Got the MD42 setting up there for Turuncu, and we got the 234-1 out here for him as well. The heavy armoured car and the armoured car preference for the Wehrmacht as the war progressed. The 222 was rather being phased out since it wasn't very good off-road due to only having 4 wheels, whereas the 8-wheeler here, as you might notice, that much better off-road performance was also bigger. I don't know if that had much of a saying in it, but it also served as a more, flexible platform. As you know, again, they had howitzer versions and tank hunter versions as well made of it. Bravo exchange the MD42 quickly suppressed. And what else going on here in the base? Nothing. No Kampf center here for Turuncu so far. No veteran. We've got the 234 moving in there. 4 kills already for Germany. There you go, Rathman spotted. Taking heavy fire there from the 234-1. And there you go, we got a Stug 4 out here for Turuncu. 17th of this bar did have Stugs 4 specifically. They also had Martyrs, which they're supposed to have Jagdpanzers, but they didn't actually arrive in the time for the battle in Normandy, so they instead have a tank destroyer battalion with Martyrs in it, as a fun fact. Folks are going to be charging forward here with limited support. We got the Stug though and the 234 moving in there. Sniper fire going up. There you go. Pantherfaust. Stug moving in. Shoots Greyhound. Then a bit of trouble. Snowballs being run out. Oh! Mine goes off, destroying the engine of both here, and even the both in a perilous situation. Almost lost the 234. Ralph Nels being pushed back, if not outright wiped. We got Panzerix up here for some of his grenadiers. Got the Stug rolling into his base. What on earth? Nothing further going on in the base of Turuncu. And meanwhile, of course, Convuko's base is being assaulted here. Medics, Attrition, are taking hits. Grenadiers, forces moving about. Need to fix up the 234-1. Rifleman engineers sneaking up in the far western flank. Stug. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing this for. He would better off at least add some veterans before at least some machine guns added to the Stug 4. But oh well. We can see he's flanking up behind Turuncu here. Very nice flank there by Convuko. Very nice flank. In this case, so once the M4 part, they could shoot. But there you go. We got artillery. So he's gone infantry. He's gone infantry. Stug still doing some damage inside. Convuko's base for nothing says there. Got artillery sort of crushing his centre here. Very nice work. They did get the 234 somewhat fixed up, so these can operate again. Going for the CoH1 is well. The Fult's going to do squad. Some heavy action here. Going to do standing about. Rifleman engineers taking losses here due to the 234. Stug opening up here on the barracks as well. It's 75 minute cannon opening up, and we got another 234 here out for Turuncu. Rifleman east was there alongside engineers squad. He's not going to try and let this bother him until he can get out something to counter him. He's got the motor pool up, so then to tank and slightly going to be what he's going to have to go for here versus Turuncu. Sniper, they're still queuing about 10 kills of veterans who won. Rasping in the west ground points of the Grenadiers. And straight into another mine, destroying the engine of his 234 and damaging the engine of his Stug. Definitely not too good there for Turuncu. Definitely not too good. Stug force by generally only seem to be sent towards the divisions, you know, panzer divisions or other things, most like panzer divisions that actually, you know, needed, you know, stuff in their panzer battalions. Of course, couldn't get panzers. Instead, they got Stug force. I don't think the Stug force actually sort of served in their own independent sort of Stug Abteilungs, batteries or tanks or units. There's a fun fact. Got 234 going there, attacking the anti-tank up close, quickly clearing out the crew there with its auto cannon. Stug going to fire there. Sadly not bouncing on the shots despite having 80mm of somewhat sloped armor. Some of the armor wasn't sloped, but generally it was sort of sloped-ish. Gave me recently effective frontal armor as well, which was one of the, you know, reasons for the Stug's success as well, I guess, besides the low profile. It had pretty effective frontal armor, which was generally also reinforced with concrete, just for a bit of extra added defensiveness. Some losses there, I think, for Turuncu. A Grenadier squad bit the dust in service of Germany. We got here Propaganda War and Inspired Assault. But that Inspired Assault will be utilised. It's one of those abilities no one really ever uses, despite being pretty good if you know how to use it. Though it is tricky, it is tricky. But a well-timed Inspired Assault can be devastating. More Grenadiers here for Turuncu, plus another 234s. MG42 that wiped out, but it's not a fire. Otherwise, we can see that Turuncu is now in control of the map here over Convuko. The 17th roams these fields and roads. Rules with an iron fist. Rifleman is setting up for Turuncu. We got the 234 out here for him. And more Grenadiers here for him as well. No medic bunker still. No medic bunker still. Rifleman getting blasted by the 222. Sniper creeping up there. 13 kills. Sniper fire there, getting some poor Fult's Grenadiers. Knocking off his little cap. Cruising ahead here. There you go, big counter attack with Grenadiers. Now they're caught and retreated. We got. Why is he calling in a Firestorm there? I was thinking of trying to rush the base and calling a Firestorm around here. This one ends up just being a waste of munitions. 160 just gone. And now trying to attack his infantry through the fire. That's not exactly the best idea there by Turuncu. He actually loses a Fult's Grenadier squad to his own Firestorm. I get he's sellers and all that, but you know, try not to get German killed. Stug hit with the damage. Engine Grenadiers are being pushed back due to primarily suffering damage thanks to Turuncu's own actions. I mean, come on. Got one anti-tank gun, another anti-tank gun, but we can still got the 3 234s, although some of them have damage. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's primarily thanks to that Firestorm, which he drove straight through and actually took hits from. This silly bastard. There you go. Double sticky bombs, wiping out one of the 234s. Stuke being repaired up. I think there's a Kampfkraft. Whoops, Kampfkraft ended up there. There we go. And some veterans here, I think it's going up for him. Got some of the 234s. Not sure what's running up so close there. I mean, you're better off just slowly destroying the base in a more safer pace here. Sniper almost wiped out. Stuke moving hit still with a damaged engine. You see flanking the rifle support there. Folks going to barely fighting gun these as well. Here's Stuke opening up. Big retreat there. Ravnir still getting slaughtered by the 234 on start of the base. We've got another 234 out for him. You can actually soon call in another artillery strike straight into Convuko's bay. In fact, let's pop back here to Convuko. It's certainly not looking very good at the moment. I mean, he's pinned inside of his base. Immobilized the 234, by the way. I'm not sure why they're going to do something into his base. I think Turuncu is just blobbing up here and actually is struggling to maintain anything because there's no logical reason for the Grenadiers to be there. They're just getting murdered by the machine gun. I mean, that would explain some of the stuff here. Like, you know, again, just rushing everything into the Firestorm. It's all that he just literally doesn't care. He's just absolutely hopped up on victory. He just doesn't care that he's, you know, killing a lot of his own stuff. But right now, Convuko's barely got anything left. He's got 2 rifle squads, a sniper, and an anti-tank gun, which is about to get annihilated. So in that regard, I mean, Turuncu does have something to hold his confidence in, I suppose. I mean, again, we got a Firestorm called in here, and just there's barely anything left for Convuko, while the Germans are just setting away in his base, of course. On the other hand, he has actually been able to destroy a lot of Turuncu's stuff, a lot of armored cars. And he... I mean, he's definitely living up to the role of the 17th SS, which, by the way, did not coordinate between the artillery and the rest of its units, by the way. It's a fun fact. It really didn't do a lot of things right there in Normandy, I believe. But yeah, go figure. He just knocked out his armoured car to that. And he's not even trying to clear out the machine guns, at least with marching his infantry, at least with some confidence. He's got 2 Grenadier squads, some Pioneers. The rest is dead. Sniper there creeping about. Obviously, they got another 234 moving in there. When at this point, it honestly makes more sense to just withdrew and just let him out of base. I mean, it's not like you can do a lot. He's done a lot of damage. I mean, in this case, it's just in a situation where it's just allowing his units to be damaged slowly, immobilized. In theory, and it could allow him to be surprised if, let's say, Rangers or a calling group or something. And there you go, Rangers out here for Convuko again. Note, all of a sudden, there's a lot of damaged armored cars. Oh yeah, all of a sudden those bazookas really effective. There you go. All of a sudden, 2 more armoured cars lost for Turuncu. Now he has to fall back out of the base. Of course, the funny thing is, just not deciding not to waste all those resources on armoured cars and all, just charging into the base, knocking them out with his own artillery, by the way. He could have done a lot all the way here, laid down a lot of machine gun bunkers, all the place laid down mines, checked out for, say, bigger tanks, and an Ostwind or Panther Force, Panther. Instead, he's just charging away a lot of armoured vehicles and the Stuke here.
What are my coordinates?
Rather senselessly too. I mean, there's a certain, I don't know, recklessness or arrogance here in Turuncu's actions. I mean, it's great to be able to destroy opponent's base and all that, but, you know, usually want it to be a bit more measured and not just, you know, oh hey, I'm just going to sort of hit it with my own artillery because that's just how cool I am. Which is sort of what Turuncu's sort of been doing. They're going for 2 secured here. Rangers moving ahead there. Got them Garand's carbine and some bazookas there firing away at those damn naughty Krauts. And there you go. Pioneers being suppressed, but then before we need to get them out of there. And a tank and sniper covering up as well. And a tank gun wiped here by another flanking 234. Good work there by Turuncu. It's some good work. Almost got them before the retreat. Got right moving ahead. Need to get the 234s out of range. Out of range. Turuncu. Schnell. Oh, propaganda wall. Saved today. For now. Anyways. We got the Rangers moving ahead to the bazookas. Main gun destroyed and one needs to fall that one back as well. Gonna just grab the munitions here. And I imagine not actually much going on here so far in Turuncu's base. And again, this is also where a medic bunker might help just a bit. There you go. Trying to wreck the anti-tank with a single one. Needs to fall back here. This is where it'd be helpful if you hadn't, you know, wasted this Stuke as well. Needs to retreat now, retreat. Oh, yeah, he drives right in front of him. And it's going to get hit with an anti-tank. Oh, Not with the tank right, but sticky bomb most likely. And then hit with the anti-tank, and there you go. Good hit. With the 50mm gun there of the M1. Still, Turuncu has most of the map here. Convuko's barely got anything left. And of course, on the other hand, again, he's wasted a lot of resources in those close quarters base assaults. It's not exactly where the armored car, really does well. I mean, again, he'd better off, going for more Stooks and taking up for more armor. I mean, this also the situation could just, push for a big advantage, then push for, the base assault slightly more measured, instead of just calling artillery in your own vehicles. Bit of fun here, Grenadiers versus Rangers. We got Thompsons there, ready to kill some craps with. The Thompson being a powerful submachine gun with a 45 caliber round, which is quite big. Of course, it did have some slight disadvantages. It was expensive to make, and it was also pretty heavy for a submachine gun, which means it actually had some issues in that department. And ultimately, the Americans then sought to, actually replace it with something either just, overall lighter and cheaper to make. Initially, tried making versions of the Thompsons just, were that. They really didn't work out, and they were also pretty ugly to look at. Ultimately, they ended up with a grease gun, which overall did the job, was cheaper and lighter. Of course, it had its own disadvantages, but, it rather did the job. So, a little series of fun facts there. We got a fresh supply going up here for Convuko. Sniper creeping up there, 21 kills. Gonna leave armored cars standing about. No sign of take up here for Turuncu. There's more veterans there being purchased for something. Got a lot of armored cars about here. Mine now and there from Convuko, 234 flanking in there, no sticky bombs. Got an armoured car there because apparently didn't repair it. Come on, Turuncu. Bit of unit preservation. Supply at number 2 up there for... Oh, straight into mine. Oh, got lucky. No damaged engine and gains veteran 2 there. And then proceeds directly into tank gun. Almost gets the MD-42 as well. So it's back to having a lot of armoured cars here. And now we can see Convuko's ending here for the off-map combat group, which tend to be what a lot of Americans' endgames tend to be. Gosh, and it just works. Kind of makes it funny he's going for the field, but then again he's just doing it primarily at this point to unite his opponent. Again, a lot of American players would just rely on the off-map combat group because it just provide them a lot of tank destroyers, infantry, all that, at a pretty sizable discount usually. It tends to make it, pretty good. Another Firestorm here. To kill a single engineer, that's rather overcoming. Got the bunker there as well, I guess, machine gun replacement, but nonetheless it feels a bit excessive. He's almost got the Attrition as well as double armored cars, but again, not really what they excel at, wrecking base buildings. Better off again, trying to aim for armor here. Right from there, lobbing grenades at those damn Krauts, and the Krauts are lobbing them back. When they say close being wiped out, Sniper also doing his part there. Veteran 327 kills. Again, not really efficient by him. He could actually be better off just trying to wipe out the rest of his units rather than trying to destroy a Attrition with 2 armored cars. I mean, Turuncu there I think needs to work a bit on his priorities. Got a King Tiger out here now for Turuncu, the Königstiger, with the early production model turret. Not the Porsche turret, by the way. Porsche never really anything to it. I mean, Porsche was really out by it again after the whole Tiger and Elephant mess. They weren't really, on the welcome side in that department. So that was actually, in this case, Krupp that stood for the turret. Henschel took care of the tank itself, but Krupp was handling the turret. The only real competition was in fact around the gun. That was between Krupp and Rheinmetall Borsig. Off that combat, we've got more Rangers rifle and anti-tank gun. Armored cars need to be careful there. A lot of bazookas now. We've got 4 bazookas for Convuko. So we got the Tiger tank moving about here. The turret here, by the way, was dropped because the fact that rounded here actually had a tendency of sort of deflecting shots into the top of the tank. And they didn't go for what the solution they made for the Panther was, just to add a sort of slight chin to the turret, sort of at the bottom, so it wouldn't deflect downwards into the tank top. It just ended up going for a different turret entirely, with a much more flat front overall, but also thicker armor. Shot fired. Got a single kill there with the King Tiger, and it's 88 under high velocity gunshot there. Bounces off the thick sloped armor. The King Tiger also was extremely expensive to make, you know, compared to say a Panther IV, even a Panther. In that regard, the Panther was not that much more expensive to make than the Panther IV, for example. And you could probably have made, I don't know, like 3 or 4 Panthers for every one single King Tiger. Damage engine in the King Tiger. More armor cars rushing in straight into the bazookas. I mean, no maneuver, just straight head on here. I mean, again, I can't help but feel this is just Turuncu to an extent being arrogant. That he just doesn't know what to do. And again, I can't watch. Why do you keep doing it, Turuncu? Why do you insist on driving into your own artillery barrages, you potato fiend? Charge with the Rangers, grenade. Oh. Yeah, sticky bombs there. Setting up to find to the side of the King Tiger with a lot of bazookas. Rearmor hits there. King Tiger saying here, fire the Rangers there, coming under fire from the 234s. King Tiger down to roughly half health here. A lot of bazookas just doing damage. Armored cars running strange to anything again. He just doesn't care. And again, he's all in the position there again, which he's just feeling so confident, and he knows his opponent's close, so he just doesn't care about, you know, any sort of issue or thing. That's just caused him to make a lot of really bad trades. I mean, again, he's just been absolutely overconfident. It is sheer arrogance, I think, here that's propelling Turuncu to just do a lot of these stupid things. He's been pushed back over Rifleman. MD4 to the Hemingway at the frontal arm of the King Tiger. I mean, of course, if this had been a game of companies, one of the problems would be possible because, again, you know, Convuko would just sit back and rely on off-map call-ins, you know, to just, you know, pull through with this. Again, that is very much a company's one thing. And again, you know, when people just, again, so many times saying, you know, well, you know, companies want us to know about call-in meta. They were lying. Liars, every single one of them. Companies one very much had a call-in meta. It was just slightly different, but there was very much a call-in meta as well. Let's got the weapon support center there. We got Rangers pushing forwards there. Armored car moving ahead. Companies reinforcing, and there you go. Almost got the entire base. The only thing left is basically the headquarters. It's got barely anything to support it with, and the King Tiger's now stuck behind enemy lines. That's not exactly a good thing there for Turuncu. That is not exactly a good thing. Heavy armor coming to fire deck, and these moving out in the open. Men being snapped there by the bazookas. Armored cars could do some repairs. King Tiger slowly trying to get out of here. That's going to be really slow here for Turuncu. That's going to be really slow. Another sticky bomb there. Rangers opening up there. Firing away rockets. Bouncing off the thick frontal armor. A lot of the early bazookas really had low penetration. They were talking like 60mm they could basically penetrate. And that King Tiger offered a lot more than that on the front and the sides. They were not really much of a match there for the King Tiger in that sense. Fixing up the 234. He's pushing the King Tiger ahead again. We can just see Turuncu just... Again, he's just so absolutely confident. He just needs to push a bit more further on this. Again, this is just one of those really, really short-sighted situations there. Bit like the sort of thing you get in companies too, and again there's just a few victory points left. They'll just push in everything. Again, they'll just make the most short-sighted trades they can possibly make, because again they can't see anything further here. And I think that's really again just what Turuncu is doing. It's just his complete nuttiness. A lot of bazooka fire there. I imagine here Convuko will try and go in for another off-map Convuko. I mean, notice he isn't reinforcing, you know, those riflemen. He is not reinforcing a single one of them. He's just setting up for another off-map Convuko. And there you go. Triple sticky bombs. immobilizing the King Tiger there. Shit's going. Rangers moving up the bazookas, and we got more Firestorm here. Rangers, there we go, firing up. Getting behind the King Tiger, 234's firing. There we go, got the King Tiger. Grenades going off the Pioneers, almost wiping all of them. He's barely got any infantry left. He's lost a lot of them. I think about all this, everything else been going on. The sniper's just been killing Turuncu's infantry. Rangers almost dead. In fact, the Rangers and the sniper and a single rifleman is all he's left here against Turuncu. But Turuncu's got the armoured cars, a Grenadier squad, and some Pioneers. And if he gets a tank destroyer with the off-map combat group, Turuncu's doomed because he's got nothing. I mean, nothing to counter that with now. And he's gone so all in on the armoured cars that if he gets a tank, his opponent gets a tank destroyer, Turuncu is doomed. Rifleman wiped. 100 points left here for Convuko. I kind of wish the commander would stop calling in artillery on us. It's really demoralizing. Not far obvious from that. He has reinforced the Rangers, by the way, because you know they also do quite a decent job there versus the armoured cars. But it's clearly not far off. Though we're talking less than a minute. He can call in another off-map combat group, and Turuncu is just not getting one. Again, had he had a medic bunker, you know, medic bunker, but no. No medic bunkers for Turuncu, no medic stations for Convuko. Granted, there's not much left for Convuko. It's being sniped. Armored car going after them straight to the Rangers. Other armored car engaged with Rangers as well. A lot of super fire there, taking it down to less than half health. Moments wait for that armored calling group. And again, he's got nothing. I mean, he doesn't even have an upgraded Puma. He's got nothing. And there we go. And he gets a tank destroyer. He also gets a 30 caliber, a rifleman squad, and then a tank gun. But really, it's going to be the Hellcat that's just going to seal this against the armored cars because he's got nothing to deal with that Hellcat with. Nothing. He's just been so absolutely obsessed with just trying to go inside the base again. There's been no real foresight, no real strategy after that point. Just armored car spam. And now he's getting punished for it so very hard here. I kind of wish they'd gone around to fixing that loaded. I mean, that's a sound effect from the Tiger Ace campaigns, but again, just the, you know, commander there, I think it's Kai Wolf voicing him, just, you know, shouting loaded, and for some reason just got stuck to every unit in the game, and they never fixed that. There we go, finally getting a stew. It's just kind of a bit too late here for Turuncu. I mean, he's barely got anything to support with. He's got some armored cars, again, there's a lot of Rangers. And there's the Hellcat. Hellcat shoots, misses. And tank and shoots, bounces off the Stu's armor. Means moving up the bazookas. Getting good here in the Stu, down to tank almost got it. Bazookas either fail to penetrate or miss, kind of thing sniped. Okay, there shoots onto thing and sitting out. And armored car almost knocked out. They're almost knocked out. There you go. Down to one armored car, a Stu badly damaged, a Grenadier squad half strength, and some Pioneers. He's about to lose the Grenadiers as well. The 50 caliber fire, rifle fire, Ranger fire, and there you go, wiped. He's now got a Pioneer squad, the 234, and a Stu left. There's nothing left here for Turuncu besides that. Everything else has just been tossed away. I mean, rarely do you get to see a match here where some player somehow manages to so magnificently self-destruct themselves in such an absolutely short-sighted manner. But Turuncu sure as hell did it again. He had this game won, but the way he just absolutely then proceeded to handle the game was completely abysmal. Like, again, just he lost all sight of any long-term plan there. He just went completely bonkers and just annihilated his own man. He was that absolutely obsessed with destroying his opponent in the base that he just, again, I mean, it's a bit difficult to describe just how hard he self-destructed. Allowing Convuko to turn this game around. Now again, had it not been for Convuko Rangers, he would have won this. He would have won this. Again, if not for these two things there again, Convuko would have lost. But even then, I mean, Turuncu really should have done that differently. Again, he just applied a bit of foresight, a bit more strategy, just with a bit further ahead and planned things out a bit better. He probably could have destroyed Convuko easily. But again, he just went completely insane and just, yeah, you saw what happened there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this Companies 1 match. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This is Imperial signing off, and see you all next week for another exciting Companies 1 episode. Cheers.